Welcome to Rachel Wolf Movement. Balance your body through holistic movement. Let's get started. Today we have a warm-up routine to prepare you for sports or activities, or simply to do when you are short on time and need a quick mobility routine. So all you need for today's workout is a TheraBand, or you could use a tubing type of band, which is what I have. So we don't need it for the first exercise, so you can just set it aside. We're going to start with the roll down. So you'll bring your feet in parallel, about hips distance apart. Place a soft bend into your knees. Draw the chin in towards the chest. Begin to round from your upper spine first. As you draw your belly button towards the spine, you're creating more of the C curve or rounded back shape. Let your upper body become really heavy as you keep your feet grounded into the floor. Then you'll start to curl up from the tailbone first by drawing the tailbone towards the belly button. You're tucking the pelvis underneath you, rounding the spine, and then slowly stacking each vertebra on top of the other as you come up to stand tall. Again, chin into the chest, curl down. Start to exhale as you roll down one bone at a time. And inhale as you curl up. Stacking one bone on top of the other. And one more. Taking a deep exhale. And inhale, chin into the chest. Slowly curling up as you tuck the tail underneath you, stacking one bone on top of the other. So you can continue with that variation, or if you prefer a different variation that gives you a little bit more extension, it's a little bit more advanced. I don't recommend it for anyone who has spinal stenosis or if it irritates your back. So you're going to start the same way. But the difference is when you come down to the bottom, you'll go into extension. So think cow tilt, like in a cat-cow. And then you'll continue that extension as you stack the spine. And then you're going to hinge back, coming into that arch back shape, chin up. Then tuck the chin into the chest and round down. One bone at a time. So again, coming into that arch back position, continuing as you lift, and hinging back, chin into the chest, and round down. Good, now we reverse. So you're going to curl it up, open the chest, forwards, and round. Back and hinging forwards, flat back, and rounding it all the way up to the top. Now we're going to grab our TheraBand. Take your arms up towards the ceiling. Now you're going to stack your ribs directly over your pelvis. Center your weight in between the heels and the big toe mound and the pinky toe side of the foot. And then as you side bend to your right, you're going to lift your ribs off of your hips. Don't collapse. And then pull the arm down towards the floor. Slowly let the arm come up. And exhale back to center. Inhale, we side bend to the left. We pull the left arm down. And exhale back to center. Inhale, side bend. Continue pulling the ribs away from the pelvis as you lower the arm down and come back to center. Good. We side bend to the left. Lower the arm down. Back to center. Exhale. Inhale, side bend. Lower the arm down. And we come back to center. Good. Now you continue pulling the ribs away from the hips as you're doing this. And you don't want to collapse in the side, and you also don't want to let this hip pop up. So we're keeping our hips even across. As we side bend, you really want to weight into that opposite foot to keep the hip pulled down. Also, we want to check the ribs. Make sure your ribs aren't splaying out, you're not arching your back. They're slightly dropped down and in. Pelvis is in a neutral position, so we're not tucking or arching from the low back. Exhale as you lift. Inhale to lower. Keep your neck nice and long. Try to keep the biceps in alignment with the ears as you're moving side to side. Good, we have one more each side. Inhale as you side bend. Exhale back to center. Inhale, pull the band down, and exhale back to center. Now take the arms in front of you. You can give yourself a little bit more slack on the band, especially if your shoulders are tight. So we're taking the arms up and over. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you go back. And as you come forward, your shoulder blades will start to come apart. So if you're moving your shoulders in this position, or you're having to bend your elbows, we need to create a little bit more slack on the band, so just take your hands further apart. If you want a little bit more resistance, more of a challenge, you'll walk your hands a little closer. So as you lift the arms up, you're not letting your ribs splay out. Keep the ribs down slightly, squeezing your shoulder blades together and working to keep the shoulders out away from the ears. Good. Inhale as you reach your arms up, and exhale as you come up and overhead. Inhale as we reach up, pulling out on that band. Exhale, come up and overhead. Try to keep your neck and your ears in alignment with your shoulders, so we're not letting the head protrude forward. So we're still holding equal weight in the feet between the heels and the big toe and pinky toe mound. Good, 2 more. And last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale, we come up and over. Good. Okay, now we're going to take it down, or set the band down. Take your feet wide on the mat. Feet are in parallel. Arms out into your T. We're going to hinge forwards with a flat back. You're only going as low as you can maintain a flat back. If you start rounding your spine, it's too far. Now take your right hand and start to rotate your ribs, reaching towards the opposite shin. It doesn't matter if you can touch or not. What matters is that you're not compensating. So what I mean by that is as you hinge forwards and twist, I'm not moving my pelvis. I'm only rotating for my rib cage. So I can touch if I move this hip. But that's not the goal of the exercise. The goal is to keep our pelvis completely still, and we're only moving from the rib cage. So lengthen nice and tall. Hinge with a flat back. Now start to rotate your ribs, reaching for the opposite side. We twist the ribs and the arm back to center and lift with a flat back. We hinge again. Rotate, reach for the opposite side. Come back to center. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hinge forwards, flat back. Start to rotate the rib cage. Come back to center. Pull your belly button up and in. Really important to engage your core as you're coming up. Hinge, flat back. Rotate from the ribs. Don't let your hips move. Come back to center. We lower down, rotate, inhale. Twist, and exhale, center. Inhale, hinge. Tighten your core as you twist, and as you exhale, come back to center. Hinge forwards. Rotate from the ribs. Back to center. Exhale, we lift. Hinge forwards. Rotate. Back to center. Lengthen out through the head and chest as you lift. Again, hinge forwards. Try to keep the knees somewhat soft so the legs are straight, but you just don't want to lock out your knees. Hinge forwards. We rotate back to center and lift. One more each side. Hinge. Rotate. center, exhale, lift, hinge, flat back, rotate, use your core, and come back to center. Now we're going to take it down on the mat. So you're going to have a seat. Take your feet wider than hips distance apart. Now we're not going to let the shoulders rotate side to side. It's only my legs moving side to side. So you're going to let them drop from one side to the other. And if I was to let my torso rotate, I could get all the way down. But that's not the goal of this exercise. We want to keep the upper body still and just let the femur bones rotate into internal and external rotation. See if you can keep your back a little straight so your core stays engaged. And you're only going as far as you can on either side without letting your whole body rotate. So we inhale one way, exhale the other. Inhale and exhale. One more each side. Inhale, exhale, and come back to center. Now we're going into a reverse tabletop. So you're going to take your feet in front of you about hips distance apart. Your hands are on the mat, fingers are turned towards your glutes. If it feels better on your wrist and shoulders to turn your fingers out, that is always another option. So as you press down into your palms and feet, lift your hips up, and then see if you can lift your hips up and your chest up a little bit higher. You keep your elbows soft so you're not locking them out, but try to get a little bit more height in the chest and the hips. Head is looking up towards the ceiling, and then slowly lower. So we always want to keep the neck in alignment with the spine. So as my hips lower, I look straight ahead. As I exhale, lift, I start to look up to the ceiling. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So as I lift, I'm tucking my hips under me just a little bit to get more height in the hips and also stretching out the front of the body. Two more. Good, last one. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Now you're going to shift forwards on your hands and knees. Step your right foot forwards in between your hands. We're stacking the right knee directly over the right heel, extending the left leg back. Now you're going to pull your lower belly up and in just to create that lower core connection. And as you press into the left toenails, lift that leg up to straighten and then slowly lower it down. So we're getting the stretch in the front of the left hip, also the quadricep muscles. We lift, exhale, inhale, lower. Lift and lower. Keep the neck lined with the spine. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. And last two. And one. Now grab your band again. You're going to shift your weight back. Extend your right leg forwards. Turn the toes up. So this one is a little bit of a balance challenge also. You're holding onto your band. Take your arms up towards the ceiling. Start to hinge forwards from your hips. Stick out your glutes. So you're only going as low as you can maintain a flat back. So if you think about arching your back, you'll actually have your back straight. So we just don't want to round. So we start to lower. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, lift. Hold your back as straight as you can. So it doesn't matter how low you go, you're keeping your back straight. Also notice that I'm keeping my biceps in alignment with the ears. So you're keeping your arms pulled back. Two more. Last one, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Set your band down. we change sides. Step your left foot forwards in between the hands. Stack your left knee directly over your left heel. Extend the right leg back. You're going to ground down into your right toenails and exhale, we lift up, inhale, lower. Still thinking about a little engagement of your low abs. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, lower. Keep your neck nice and long. Good, 3 more. And last one. Now grab your band again. We shift the weight back. Turn your left toes up towards the ceiling. Take the arms up. Nice flat back as you hinge forwards. And lift. So don't worry about how low you can go. Focus on keeping your back completely straight. If you think about arching just a little bit, your back will be straight. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale as you lift. Good, one more. Good, and that is all for today. Thanks for watching. Stay consistent with movement and don't forget to rest. See you next time.